I just wanted to do a video about something I've recently become more interested in. It kind of stems from my joy of making miniatures, specifically like plastic ones for like board games, and that kind of comes from this board game called King Death Monster. I really liked to try painting them and try making them, and I'm really enjoying that. And so I recently got into Warhammer just kind of on a whim. Very well known, very popular. I didn't know how or what way to get into the hobby, and I found out they had this thing called Kill Team, kind of like a little skirmish game with 5 to maybe 11 to 15 models against each other. And I thought that was an easier way to get into the game. What I purchased and what I have here today is this Kill Team Hivestorm box. Comes with 2 factions. What kind of drew me into this specifically was I heard that this specific one had like everything you kind of need as a starter. It has the core rulebook and all that stuff. If I flip it around, it comes with, the core book, the dossier to have like some missions and stuff, some information about each team, the tokens, the core mechanics and whatnot, and it had the miniatures for both teams. I picked this up for relatively like retail price, so I wasn't too upset because I know people are scalping it right now. Even came with the equipment pack, so I was really intrigued by the colors even of the 2 teams. There's kind of like a darker green color, and this one's orange, so pretty good contrast. Okay, so I've already taken off the tape. I'm just going to start opening up the box so I can show it. I haven't really seen anything in the box. I just have literally seen the top miniatures, but I'm going to take it off. And so we got quite a lot of sprues. Actually more than I think it's more than I expected. Maybe it's just because of all the terrain, but I don't know if you guys can see here, but it seems like a lot of, this is probably the Tempestus Aquilons one. Got some terrain there. This one looks more like the bugs. You can kind of see some of it looks like their abdomens, I think. These looks like jump packs for the Tempestus Aquilons. I've made maybe one Games Workshop miniature before, and I was at like a games convention and they gave it out for free, and then we got to paint them. But the plastic is very different from what I'm used to. My plastic, it tends to be harder for my Kingdom Death Monster miniatures, so this is, if it is quite different. This feels a little softer in my opinion, but I use Citadel paint to which is Games Workshop's paint, to paint my miniatures, so I'm sure it works fine with these ones. You can kind of see the wings there. You can't really see on the video, but I think that's pretty cool. You got some terrain here. I've never made terrain miniatures before, but you can kind of see the details right there, and that is pretty sick if you ask me. The detail on this is pretty cool. Back side, front side. I guess this is a door. Yeah, I'm just trying to show off as much as I can. This is my first time doing like an unboxing video of something like this, so you're gonna have to cut me some slack, So look at that, these miniatures are pretty cool. You can kind of see the details there. My lighting's not the greatest, but I hope people can see that when I show it. So it's at least 2, 3, and then a couple more, 4, 5, 6. Something I admire about Games Workshop is the detail in this kind of thing. I think it's pretty cool. I think this is the equipment pack that comes with it. So like the 6 inches to measure like for your movement and whatnot, and the this, I guess I don't even know what this is because I don't even know how to play the game. This is me just first time looking at stuff. I know this is a smoke grenade, I think, but you can kind of see there's a couple of things there. I guess this is the Volcus terrain board. Kind of see it there. You know. As far as game boards go, this looks, you know, relatively cool. Oh, it is a lot bigger. I can't even show the whole thing. You know, that's one side. I don't know how many inches this board is, but it's double-sided. I'll try and show the other side. It's kind of hard, so I can't capture it all, but it's kind of like that. And for comparison, that's my hand. And I guess this is for the two teams. This would probably be the core book and the Dossier, I would imagine. It's got both the two kill team symbols on it. Oh, that's a little sad that this is a little ripped, but you know, not too shabby. Whoa, okay. This looks pretty cool. You can see that art piece right there. Yeah, that's from the front. And inside this thing, so you have the Kill Team core book, which I definitely have to read because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Core book. I'm surprised that their very first one, I guess this was the start of the new edition, back in 2025. I'm joining, this is like March 2026 for reference. So this was, I think, released in 2025. As the edition start, that's probably why the artwork is from there. Welcome to Killzone, you know, talks about the collecting portion of the gaming, you know, painting, I'm sure, how to get started, some lore stuff, I guess different kill teams. I don't even know, you know, I just started playing Space Marines too, so like all of this is like brand new to me. The most I know is like there's the Corsican team, which in the game there's like Cadian military people, which they are. You don't see these guys in game, but it's still pretty cool. I have no idea about the chapters of Space Marines and whatnot. Turn orders, actions, how it works, that kind of thing. I don't know. I just find all this stuff really cool. And I've always wanted to play something like Warhammer. I remember the first time I got introduced to Warhammer, there was this guy back in elementary. So this was like years ago. He introduced me to it. We were just talking about it very casually, and he was telling me how, like, you know, there's this and this is the lore, and I just remember being very confused. The Dossier, you can kind of see that. About the current map for that season, the two factions, rules, talking about each one. Definitely need to read this in order to understand what the heck is going on. I know these aren't like super main factions, but it'd be good to know what the heck I'm doing. I guess the different types I can make and their each individual rules. Oh, I think this one's pretty important on how many you can make in the in the kill team. Up to 9 from the following lists. I don't know how much of variety you actually want. You know, these are the data cards with their information. I've tried a Fire Team, which is kind of like a discount version of this in the sense of Kill Team. It was only released in the US. I managed to get a copy here in Canada online, so I got that really cheap. So we got some approved art packs for 2024. So I guess this was released 2024. I have no idea what's in this thing. Oh, I guess this is like more so like approved terrain stuff, maybe. Terrain setups, I guess. And there's like different types of tactical things depending on your faction that you can aim for. No idea. Just gonna leave that to the side. Specifically for this set, how to build the miniatures. Make all this stuff. Terrain stuff too. Perfect. I need this. Tokens, I heard you can get like third-party ones online, which are just as good, but you know, tournament-wise, you should have. And so some of them are faction specific. You can see that this is probably the Vespid one. That is definitely for the other human faction. I've done a little bit of digging and research. Is this just literally a piece of corrugated cardboard? Yep, that's what it is. Corrugated cardboard. Okay, cool. Seems like there's something else in here. What is this? This is saying kill team white dice. Wow, 4 dice. Sure, I'll take it. I got a dice packs for like other stuff too. And then the bases. And I mean, honestly, pretty sick box. Nothing else is in it. But, you know, that's pretty cool. Let me just count the sprues. I think there should be 3 per faction. And that looks like it. You know, 1, 2 for the human faction, and then a third one here, and then 3 for the Vespids, or they call them Xenos, I think, in the Warhammer universe. Just anything that's not human, I guess. But otherwise, you know, this is really cool. And I never really expected to get into something like this. I thought it was always really cool, but I always heard about the price. I was always scared about the price. But seeing it now, you know, I'm quite impressed. I'm intrigued. I'm ready to start trying Kill Team. I heard competitively, a little sweaty, but for a casual person like me who's just trying to have fun, this looks like a good way to start. So, you know, if you're looking up to pick up Hivestorm, I heard they like flooded the market with this and so it's easier to find. Try not to get scalped if you're going to get this. So things like Tomb World, which is another box like this, but it's not as good because I heard it's like more expensive. It doesn't have like the core rule books, which this one had. It has like the Dossier and everything, but that one might not be as much worth the money, but it is harder to find. I really wanted that one because Necrons seem really cool, which is like this like undead race of I don't know who's, but yeah, Warhammer, pretty cool. I'm excited to build these miniatures, build the terrain. I think that will be really cool. Like, you know, just looking at it, holy. Can use this terrain for other stuff. Can use it for 40k? I don't know. I think it's all the standard sizing and whatnot. But yeah, super excited. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good day.